Well, in New York morning trade, crypto majors are pulling back with Bitcoin hovering right below the 90,000 level. Crypto got off to a strong start in 2026, bouncing back from the heavy losses at the end of last year. The four quarters saw their share of ups and downs last year, with the fourth quarter drawdown defying predictions and challenging the market narrative. Well, joining me to discuss more as we kick off 2026 is Andy Baehr, head of product and research at CoinDesk Indices. Andy, happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, and we are really happy about this new year because we finally get to put that sour quarter of Q4 of 2025 behind us. We really do notice that the crypto market tends to move in quarters, and we had four really distinct stories last year. We had the tariff tantrum in Q1, we had the beginning of this really strong ETH rally in Q2, and then the Genius Act Pact we passed in Q3. We had all these great IPOs on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. And then Q4, just everything fell apart. We had this really bad liquidity event on October 10th, which actually challenged a lot of the notions about how safe some of these independently operated derivatives markets are. We think that they're fine, and the markets are recovering very well from that, but that was a setback. And right out of the gate, the market seems strong. Bitcoin's up, Ether's up, the CoinDesk 20 index, even after the overnight action's still up about 7%. So definitely we're into a new quarter and ready to look forward.
Yeah, and Andy, it's hard to believe that we're only in the first full trading week of 2026, given everything that's happened so far. But as you mentioned, there's a lot of anticipation heading into 2026.
Yes.
So give us your take on what we can expect from banks' involvement in crypto this year.
Yeah, banks have been at work, and banks move slowly, and they have to move very carefully into this new space. They have to think about security. They have to think about what their clients want. They have to think about the businesses of their own that they're disrupting. But it's happening. It's definitely happening. We've seen news lately. I noticed that you had on my friend Ambra from Kaiko yesterday, and her firm is involved with this other firm called Canton, which is now involved with JP Morgan and their stablecoin project. I mean, that's a super exciting example. JP Morgan also announced in Q4 that they're starting to think about structured products linked to crypto. We saw earlier this week that the Morgan Stanley Investment Management filed an S1 for Bitcoin and Ether ETF. So if it's on the payment side, the structured product side, the stablecoin side, the settlement side, DTCC, all of the banks in the traditional markets are definitely getting involved. It's slow and steady. They're ignoring all the noise about the markets, and things are moving forward. So this may not be the kind of retail Twitter, crypto Twitter, kind of telegram feed that sparks the markets on a day-to-day basis, but it should give investors and traders a sense that there is a slow underlying current of adoption and progress.
Yeah, and institutional adoption is something that we'll keep our eyes on, of course, as we head into the year. But you mentioned the Canton network. So speaking of which, privacy as a theme and the evolution of privacy, tell us what's actually happening and what it means for not just institutional, but also retail investors.
Yeah, for a long time, privacy was a word you didn't want to use a lot in crypto because it still had that narrative attached to people with ill intent moving crypto around for bad reasons, right? And that's certainly a narrative that's been overused and overextended and super tired right now. But the idea of privacy is a little bit at odds with the idea of this kind of radical decentralization, and everybody has everybody else's information. Of course, you don't want people to know what your bank balances are, or you don't want them to be able to find the D to your house, on the blockchain so easily. So this idea of semi-privacy has really taken hold. Canton Network is part of this firm called Digital Asset, which basically says we're going to have a public blockchain, but certain things that shouldn't be seen by everybody will only be able to be seen by those who need to see it. So an idea of semi-privacy. That's gotten tremendous traction over the last year. In Q4, I actually did a segment right before the end of the year with JD. We talked about Zcash, which is this semi-private token based a lot on Bitcoin's kind of blockchain and security infrastructure, but something where you can have a private address or a public address. It's, again, semi-private and regulatory friendly. That caught fire and had a kind of 10x market move in a soft tape in Q4. So this idea of semi-privacy is really going to take hold. Investors shouldn't be scared of it. They should see it as a way that private information that should remain private, especially between institutions, will have a way to proceed while still maintaining the technology and security of blockchain.
And Andy, before I let you go with all of this innovation as well as evolution taking place in the crypto world, what does it mean in terms of products for both crypto and blockchain heading into 2026?
Yeah, it's going to be the burden of choice, right? There's going to be, there have been a whole big slew of ETFs that came out. There's going to be a bunch more. Our firm was very proud to benchmark the majority of the new ETFs that came out. We will have several product launches and announcements in the next. Consensus Hong Kong is only a month out, right? So we will have some spectacular announcements at that event. So investors, both all the way from banks to individuals, will have a ton of choices. For those just looking to allocate, we say what we always say: look at an index fund. There will be more of them listed right here on the New York Stock Exchange in the weeks to come, and that's just the way to get all of these crypto stories into one package that you can allocate, put away, and watch quarter after quarter the progress continue.
Well, Andy, always great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you as always for all of your insights.
Let's have a great year, Remy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andy.